people get involved in your campaign. They say, you know what, I love this woman, I love what she's doing, she's fighting for us. This is John Villarreal reporting for Conservative New Media.
People call themselves all kinds of stuff. Catholic, Christian, Baptist, Pentecostal. There's all kinds of different flavors of Christianity. There's all kinds of different flavors of all kinds of religion. There's people that say that they're Catholic that never go to church. There's people that say that they're Catholic that are okay with being pro-choice and all kinds of other stuff. So I'm not totally sure that it's super terribly instructive that someone calls themselves X religion. But let's put that aside for a second. The difference is between, like, you know, discrimination or prejudice or bigotry or whatever like that. It's one thing to say, hey, I don't like someone because of the color of their skin, which is completely wrong, stupid, and to be fought at every turn. Same with gender and all kinds of other stuff, unless, as the Supreme Court has said, there's something related to a specific job or whatever performance where it might come into an issue, whether it's fighting in the military or certain requirements for firefighters or police officers or part of the job or whatever like that. And there's different standards and there's different things. And again, that's a whole different discussion too and whatever like that. But anyway, you know, something that you're born with, you know, quote-unquote race, which is, there's only one race, human race, whatever, but skin color, gender, all that type of stuff, that's one thing. That's different than saying no one's born. I mean, yeah, religions might say if you're born, you know, in the Jewish religion, if your mom is Jewish, according to them, you're Jewish. In the Muslim religion, if your dad is Muslim, you're Muslim. Well, okay, I don't accept that. You know, you can be born whatever. You can choose to be any religion that you want or no religion. And at some point here, religions, if you believe in it and you adhere to it, they have a certain belief system. And I may or may not respect that belief system. It's simple as that, you know. And so if we're going you know, I need to know. So in other words, I don't care what you call yourself. You tell me what you believe, and then I'll tell you if I respect that or not. So, I mean, we just saw a week or two ago where I believe in Saudi Arabia, a woman got stoned to death under Sharia law because, I don't know if she was accused only of adultery or whatever. I need to get the facts. Do I respect stoning to death the woman? No, I don't respect that. Do I respect cutting off someone's hands because they may have stole something? No, I don't respect that either. Do I respect a religion that marries underage kids in multiple, in large quantities or whatever to older men? No, I don't respect that either. Do I respect a religion that might have human sacrifice or other stuff like that? No, I don't respect that either. Me personally, my personal opinion. Now, do I respect anyone's constitutional right to do anything that they want? Absolutely, as long as you're not hurting anyone else. I don't care what you do or what you believe. I don't care if you want to worship rocks. I don't care what you want to call yourself. It doesn't matter to me as long as you are not hurting anyone else. And the second rule that I follow, if you're running for office or you're in office, I don't want to hear from people that, hey, I'm a Christian first. Not if you're running for office, you're not. Not if you're running. You need to represent everybody, especially out here in California where there's all kinds of different religions. You need to represent everybody first, and you need to represent your office first. Not to go into the Bible, but this is my old CCD training, my old altar board training. You know, render unto Caesar what is Caesar's, and render unto God what is God. You run for office, you represent everybody first, and then you leave your religion back. We have so much more to talk about. Unbelievable amount of stuff. My name is John D. Villarreal. I'm filling in for Dave Diamond. You're listening to 1360 KFIV Modesto. And we're back here on KFIV 1360AM Modesto and KWSX 1280 AM Stockton. I'm John D. Villarreal. I'm filling in for Dave Diamond. And we're talking about all kinds of different stuff. We're getting into religion. We're talking about breaking news. We're talking about what do you believe and why. And if you want to join us, do it right now at 551-3483 or toll free anywhere in America, 866-770-5556. Let's bring Paul back in here. Now, Paul, I mean, do you understand what I'm saying? You feel what I'm saying here? I know you've had your own religious journey. And, I mean, you know, my take is like this. You know, look, you know, we'll all find out when we die, right? Okay, like, what's what? You know, I mean, there's a lot of people now that are atheists. Bill Maher's a big famous atheist. Chris Hitchens, I believe, is another one. And I mean, you know, maybe there's nothing. I personally, believe in God. I'm comfortable with the Catholic Church, but I've always been open-minded. I've read a lot of Joseph Campbell. I think a lot of religions say a lot of the same things. And ultimately, even though I have a big ego and I'm a super genius and all this type of stuff, and I had a whole series up on YouTube where I basically went through a 9-part proof, an hour and a half of where how I thought I could basically prove that it's more likely than not that there is a God or a life after death, that kind of stuff, and I thought it was pretty compelling. You can watch that and see what you think of it. Highly rated. Now, the thing of it is like this. My basic bottom line comes down to this. A lot of these things say the same thing, and I like to believe that there is a supreme being. How did life? And Dave talked about this last week. You can have all the creationism stuff and all the evolutionary stuff and all the scientific stuff, and no one can explain how the Big Bang happened. And we can look at 11 different dimensions and string theory and M theory and all that type of we can go into all that type of stuff. And I've talked about a lot of that type of stuff as well. But look, there's a lot of stuff that just cannot be explained. I think that what Ben Stein, who's brilliant, says about intelligent design, and looking at that, and a lot of new scientists that are coming online with that have said is very compelling. But ultimately, in terms of an outlook, if you will, and a policy, I don't like any. I question seriously any religion or belief or group that says we know everything and we're going to heaven and the rest of you are going to hell, or if you're part of our group, that's okay, we have to treat you nicely. If you're not part of our group, we can do anything, kill you, lie, steal, whatever, and whatnot. If you're part of the club, it's cool. If you're not part of the club, then forget you. Or I don't like any system where it says, hey, you know what, the white people are okay, but the dark-skinned people aren't okay, or vice versa. I don't like any system that says, hey, men have all the rights and women don't have as many rights, or maybe no rights. I don't like that either. I think that, and I don't like any system that says, you know what, if you're married here or you're born here or whatever, then you're saved. And then, you're married forever, but if you're not married here or born here or whatever, then forget you, you're done. I just don't buy into any of that. Churches and these institutions are, at the heart of it, they're man-made, and a lot of them are big corporations, and they have a lot of money, and like any other organization or, corporation, whatever like that, they're going to want to do what's in their best interest to continue growing in their power and whatnot like that. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying that's what organizations and corporations do. And I fixate more on what, allegedly Jesus wrote in one of the Dead Sea Scrolls. I believe I have this right, which is new information, which were at least done around the time of Jesus, and some of the breaking information that I believe the Vatican tried to crack down on, which said, look, where you lift a rock, basically, where you lift a rock, you'll find me. That God is everywhere. I don't need a church or a pope, and I love the pope, or a special temple or this and that, whatever, to have me get right with God. I can get right with God right now. God's in all of us, and God loves everybody. That's what I think, and that's what I'm for. So I don't believe I'm getting messages from God telling me to go kill anybody. I believe, and that's the story, maybe that's my bias with Christianity and Catholicism, whatever like that. It's the story of redemption. We're all sinners. We're all sinners. Don't think you know something, or you have all the secrets, or you were born in this temple, or you have special clothes, or you're a fool if you believe that, in my personal opinion. That doesn't mean you're not going to heaven. Doesn't mean God doesn't love you too. That just means be humble and be open-minded. God is everywhere. And God is, he probably likes your enemy too. So, the message of Jesus Christ is the message of redemption. It's the message of love for everybody. And guess what? John D. Villarreal gets on the wrong side of that a lot of times too. I got my problems. I got my things that I got to work out and get right with that message. And maybe I'm wrong with that, but as far as being a super Jew, that's the thing that makes the most sense to me, is that everybody's loved and everybody's saved all over the world if they do the right things. And maybe not even if they do the right, because there's a division on that too. Do you actually have to do things right and live a good life to go to heaven? Or does God just flat out love everybody? And guess what? He knows a heck of a lot more than you or me or anyone else down here on earth does. And that's all I'm saying. Have a little dose of humility on that type of situation. But we're going to come back. We're going to talk about all that and more. We got all this other stuff to talk about. I'm John D. Villarreal, sitting in for Dave Diamond. You listen to KFIV 1360.